This is going to be a training video for snowplow operators on a JCB 409. We have metal plus plows on them, and in this video we'll go over the basic startup procedure as well as the basic operations inside the cab and how to use the snowplow. First thing that we will do before we hop in the machine is we got to do a pre-trip inspection. So we will come back here to the engine compartment. It will be locked, so you'll have to insert your machine key, unlock it, push the button, and the rear hatch will open. So we'll start over here. First thing you have here is your diesel fill. It is a lock-in fuel cap, so you do need to insert the key, twist it, and then you will be able to fill up your diesel. Next thing over here is we have our washer fluid reservoir, so you just want to make sure that you have some in there, so you're good to go for your shift. Next thing is down here, this is our sight glass for a hydraulic tank. Hopefully you guys can see it in there. You want to make sure that there is fluid visible on the in the sight glass. You know it's good to go. Working our way around the machine. Next thing that we'll need to check down here is the engine oil. So down here we have our dipstick. It's this yellow thing here. You just pull it out, and we want to make sure that we have oil in there between the min and the max level, which we are good to go. And last thing that we will check underneath here is the coolant level. Here, as you can see, you got your min level and your max. Just want to make sure it's inside there. So we're all good to go under here, and we can start the machine. So close it back up, and we always want to make sure we lock the hatch back here to make sure nobody can get in and tamper with anything. So going inside the machine, door should be locked. So same thing, machine key inside there, unlock the door, open it. And to start up the machine, our key slot is over here. What we'll do, put it in, turn it to the ignition position, maybe for 5 seconds. If the machine wants to do some preheating, it can do whatever it wants. And then now we will turn the key, hold it, and now the engine is on. Another thing we got to check outside is all our lights. So over here on our side panel, we will turn all of our lights on, and we will do another walk around outside and make sure that all of our lights are working. So here on the machine, we want to make sure that our work lights on the top in the front are working, as well as our headlights there and both of our turn signals. Keep walking around the machine. We'll have some more work lights on the back up here that we'll check. Make sure that those are on. Both of your signals are working in the back, as well as your brake lights. And then on the top of the machine, hopefully you guys can see it, there's a beacon up there that we just need to make sure that that is on as well. Hopefully you guys can see it up there, the flashing light. So now that we've checked all that, we are good to hop in the machine and get ready for our shift. First thing that we will do when we hop in the machine is we want to make sure that our seat is adjusted. I'm just going to show you guys it down here. It's a little bit easier to see. So in the bottom here, you have your air ride adjustment. So if you push it in, it's going to pump up the seat. If you pull it out, it's going to deflate. Here on the front, you have your adjustment gauge. So it's going to go from red and green. Obviously green is good, red is you need to add or decrease the air. Here on the front, you have a lever for your slide front and back, and on the side here you have your tilt adjustment. Now we're sitting in the machine. We will adjust our seat down here again. So as you can see, we are in the red, so we need to pump up the seat. I will find the button here, push the button in until our adjustment goes from red to green. See there's a black line there, you kind of want to get it in the middle as close as you can. And there you go, we are good to go. Next thing that we will go over is our steering column adjustment. On the side here, we have a locking lever, so we'll turn it counterclockwise to unlock the steering column. And now we can move it up and down, as well as we can move it in and out to get it adjusted exactly where we want. And once you are comfortable with the position of your steering wheel, you want to lock the lever back down by turning it to the clockwise position, and it will just get tight, and then now the steering wheel will not move. Starting inside the cab, we have got a window here on the left side that slides open and closed. Here we have our dash. So on the left side here we have our fuel gauge, we are full, and we also have our engine temperature gauge here, and we have a couple other things here in the middle. It'll give you some different information, I'll go over that in a second. And then moving over on the right side, you have another window here that you can open by lifting up this lever and pushing out. It locks in a position here. There's a little hole that the knob goes in, or you can open it all the way, and to close it, same thing, pull it all the way in and push this lever all the way down, and that is in the lock position. Next thing, down here we have our HVAC controls, so your heat and air. You have your temperature gauge here, turn this to whatever you want. You have your fan speed, and you have your AC on or off. There's vents all over this place that you can adjust here. On the other side, you got some down here for your feet, as well as you have these vents here to adjust to whatever position you want for the air blowing on you. Two vents here that you can adjust however you like. Moving on, we will go over all the controls now. So starting over here on the left side of the steering column, you have a red button, that's your horn. Over here you have your turn signal stock, very similar to what you would have in a car. Push up and it will go left signal, down it will go right signal. As well, if you push it in, you will get your high beams, and you can flash your high beams by pulling it towards you. Next thing we got here is our front wiper, so you just turn it down and now your front wiper will go. And if you want washer fluid, push the button on the outside here and it will spray your washer fluid. Moving along here to the control panel on the side of the machine, this first one here is your joystick lockout. So right now, if we use the joystick, I'll go over the functions in a second, but you can see everything is working. If this button is turned off and the light is not on, then now our joystick has no controls. So if you're plowing and for whatever reason you lose control of your joystick, just make sure that this button is down and the light is turned on. Next thing we got here is our road speed control. I'll go over that now. So if you're just in the regular speed, in the rabbit mode, you will only go 20 kilometers an hour in this machine. But they do have a road speed, and you toggle it using this button to allow you to go 40 kilometers an hour, so you can get from site to site faster. How we are going to activate this button is, I will go over this in a second as well. On the back of our joystick, we have our forward, reverse, and neutral switch. So we just want to make sure that we are in the neutral position, which is in the middle, as well as our parking brake is up. And right now, if you look here, if I put it in forward, you will see the rabbit. Now, if we are in neutral, parking brake up, we push this button, the light will turn off and then it will turn back on. That means that now we are in road speed. So now if I put it back into forward, you can see it has changed to the road speed signal. So now we will be able to go 40 kilometers an hour down the road to get from site to site. Next button on the panel here is our smooth ride feature. So to activate it, you will push this red button up and the button down. And you can see on our dash here, our indicator has turned on saying that it is active. What this does is when you're driving down the road, it gives the plow some movement up and down to dampen all the weight on the front so that you're not bouncing so much going down the road. When you are plowing on site, you do want to make sure that this is turned off. So you're just going to flip it back up and the light will go out, or else your plow will kind of move on its own and do some weird stuff as you're plowing. Moving down the board here, we have a attachment lock button, but this thing you guys will not have to touch it. It's nothing to do with you guys. If you do have something with that, you have a bigger problem, so you'll need to contact one of us. And then as we stated before, going back here, we have our lights. So this is our main headlight switch. 1 is our headlights, and then 2 is our brights. And then you have your hazard switch as well. This one here is for your work lights. So 1 click is the front, 2 clicks is the back, which means everything's on, and then you have your beacon here. Last switch here is the switch for our rear wiper. So 1 click, the wiper will start to go, and if you push and hold, then you will get your washer fluid in the back there. Moving on, we will start to go over the joystick controls and moving the machine back and forth. So first thing is, if you pull the whole joystick towards you, it will raise the arms. If you push it down or away from you, it will lower it, as well as tilting it left and right will tilt the attachment. So tilting it to the right will tilt it down, and tilting it left or inwards towards you will curl the attachment up towards you. As well, on the back of the joystick, which I showed you guys earlier, you have your forward and reverse neutral selector. So forwards means we will be in the forward position, as you can see here, with the arrow pointing forwards. And if we switch it here to the middle, we're back into neutral, and in the back we are in reverse. So, and to move the actual machine, we're gonna have to put the parking brake down here on the side. So just pull it up a little bit, push the thumb button in, release it down. And now if we use our switch here, we go up is forwards. Now we can use our gas pedal, which is down here, and this is our brake. Push the gas and we will start to move forwards. And then the good thing about these machines is as soon as you let off the gas, the machine will slow down. We can go back into neutral and now into reverse. You can hear maybe the backup beacon is on, and now we'll start to go backwards, and we can turn around, see what's going on back there. And then if we want to slow down, we can just let off the gas pedal and we will automatically start to slow down. Last part of this training video is how we actually operate the plow. So these are called wing blades. You have control over your main moldboard, which is the big piece in the middle here, as well as you have control over your right side and your left side wing. So on the joystick over here, how we will operate that is we have a 3-position switch here. So if we flick it to the left side, now we are going to be controlling our left wing. If we flip it to the middle, we will be controlling the main moldboard of the plow. And if we flip it over to the right side, we will be now controlling our right wing. And how we are going to do that, if I just flip it back to the middle, then we are going to use this switch here, thumb switch. If we push up on the switch, the plow will go to the right. If we push down on the switch, the plow will move to the left. and let's put it back to the middle. And same thing, if we flip our switch here to the left side and we use the toggle on the thumb, we can operate our wing to go in and out. They do go all the way back 180 degrees. Same thing over to the right. Now we'll have control of our right side wing. Another thing that we have to make sure we are keeping an eye on with our plow is when we are plowing, these two red indicators here, we want to make sure that they are level. Those are our down pressure gauges. So you're going to want to put your plow, just push down on the stick till your plow is just about touching the ground. And then after, once we get very close, we're just going to tilt it down and pushing out on the joystick until those two red lines there now are lined up. That means we have adequate down pressure and we will not be damaging the pavement. We don't have too much and we don't have not enough, so you'll get a nice clean scrape without damaging any of the pavement. These things, they do not have a float feature as some of other machines you might have operated. So as you are plowing, you might need to make fine adjustments using your tilt feature to keep the down pressure adequate. So you have to make sure you're keeping an eye on your two red markers there so that you keep good pressure on your machine, on your plow, I mean, sorry. Last thing we're going to go over is the shutdown procedure of the machine. So now we are finished our shift, everything went well. We will park it in its final position. Let's just say it's here for now. We're going to make sure that the machine is in neutral with our switch on the back here again. We will engage the parking brake, pull this up, it clicks and it locks in place. We'll put our plow down so that it is touching the ground so that there's no weight on the arms of the machine. And then once all that's done, just turn our key over here to the off position. As well, you got to make sure that you turn all your lights off. They already are off. And then we will step out of the machine. To exit the machine, you will flip this switch, pull it towards you, and the door will open. As well, you want to make sure that your windows are both in the locked position here on your door, all the way forward and locked. Get out of the machine, lock the door, make sure it's locked, and we will just do one last walk around on the machine, make sure that all of our lights are turned off so that the batteries don't get drained. And last thing, just double check that our rear hatch is locked. Can't open it. So now we are good to go. And yeah, that's it for all the controls and basic operation of a JCB 409 with a Metal Plus wing plow on it.